Okay, we'll just hope this works.
Okay, for sure.
Where were we?
We're talking about I was the only Asian guy.
He was only the Asian guy.
I think, yeah.
Next time I will trying to find more. I hope.
Well, I kind of enjoy the, felt kind of special again.
So we have Jacob is from America.
Yeah,
He's
I
from,
figured that out, yeah.
He's from Seattle, actually.
Well, Seattle, so not that far away from Canada.
Yeah, you were in Canada, Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver for high school. Well, technically, when I was 1, I moved to Vancouver. Came back to Taiwan when I was 6.
Okay.
And then I did not finish elementary in Taiwan.
Okay.
So when I was in Taiwan, I do not have like a completion of education sort of thing. So when I was in fun little fact, I was in the military. Since I don't have a proof of education, I got put into a special category group that all the people there are like, they did not finish high school or below.
Right.
So I was in that group, yeah. So I do have not a form of certificate of education.
What's that group of people looks like?
I mean, they're like nice people.
Right.
Like, at least from what I experienced, nice people. But sometimes, you know how people carry a type of energy or frequency?
Yeah.
I cannot match their frequency at all. Like, for example, I'm talking about, I don't know, how's the weather? They would tell me they like to eat betel nut or something like that.
Right.
Like, it does not make sense to me.
When did you serve?
When I was 19, yeah.
And that's 2000.
What was that? When was that? That was a long time ago. 2000, like 17?
17.
I think it's 17, yeah.
Okay. So you were here since you were 7.
Yeah, since I was 7. And then when I was 11 or 12, like grade 6 in Taiwan, elementary, before I finished, I flew back to Canada again.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad decided that, hey, you learned enough Chinese, so time for you to go back to Canada.
And for the Canada, you'd start doing...
I went back when I was grade... The very end of grade 7 for Canadians, yeah. And then there's... I remember the school I went to, since the... I think the grade 8 people are full, so I had to move down or something like that. I can't really remember, yeah, but I was grade 7 there, yeah, and then I stayed in Canada all the way until I was like 22, 23, and then came back because of COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why?
Yeah, because Canada had like this crazy pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah, and during that time, I was the only person in my family that was in Canada. And yeah, and for university, I went to Alberta, and the pandemic was in winter time, and really harsh environment for Alberta.
Is it because of isolation or
the isolation, and then the weather is just brutal. It's like negative 35 outside. Everything's covered in snow or ice.
Right.
It looks really depressing because it's all gray and cold, and when you look outside the window, nothing's there.
Right.
Yeah.
And why is it, if there's no pandemic, you would stay?
I would stay, yes.
I see.
I actually believe that if I stayed there, I would probably never would have came back to Taiwan, actually.
Right.
Only for vacation purposes. Besides that, I don't see myself staying in Taiwan for more than like a month or 2.
Right.
Yeah.
But ever since then, you've been in Taiwan for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, everything sort of... I just went with the flow, basically. Because when I came back to Taiwan, I did not finish school yet, since everything was online.
Okay.
Yeah, and I finished university through, online, remote classes and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and then after I finished school, I was eager to like work.
Right.
How naive, right? I did not take time off at all. I found a job like right after like a week of me like solidifying that there's going to be a graduation for me.
Right.
Everything's ready. It's just I just need to wait till a certain time to graduate. Yeah, after that I just went on the job hunting websites and then just found a job and then start working.
There's few things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
One is I couldn't believe COVID is 4 years ago.
Yeah, time flies. I cannot believe that either.
And somehow I think we as a society as a whole think COVID right now, think back, it's actually a pretty nice experience.
I mean, it's something new. Like it definitely shocked the entire like population of wherever, right? Yeah. Like now, like before COVID, if you think of like remote working and stuff, you would probably feel like it's really uncommon. But right now, people are just like, oh, it's remote working. Oh, we had that before.
I enjoy the fact that we have a shared memory.
Oh, yeah.
Like the global citizen as a whole.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Like goes through that all together.
Yeah.
But I do remember during that time, it's chaos everywhere.
Yeah, it's... I remember because Taiwan was doing good in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Like we still can go anywhere we want. It's just you need to have a mask on.
Yeah.
And then there's a breakout and then everything went out of control and you sort of can't do anything, right? So I feel like when everything went out of control, you can't even go to a park near your house to that point.
Right.
Yeah, it is kind of depressing because like you're stuck at home all day. You don't know what to do.
And you were in Alberta at that time.
That time, I came back to Taiwan. I was with my family. Yeah,
I see.
Canada had a outbreak like faster than Taiwan, right?
Right.
Because some Canadians are kind of reckless, including me. We're like university kids, right?
Yeah.
We still hung out and stuff, despite the government telling us not to do so, but we still did it anyways.
You were in university.
Yeah, it was my last year.
It was your last year.
Yeah.
But you had it. Oh, okay. So you sort of finished the university in a very strange way.
Yes. And another really funny thing is I never really had a graduation ceremony.
Yeah.
I didn't have a university graduation. I did not have a middle school graduation. I did not have a elementary school graduation. The only graduation ceremony I went through was high school. Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of weird. Yeah.
Do you feel you're robbed from it? Is that the experience you wanted to go through?
I mean, I would definitely want to experience it, but I wouldn't say it was robbed because who knows what would have happened if COVID did not happen and I had my graduate ceremony, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's just a path that, I
wonder if your parents feel like they were robbed, because for me, graduation is more like for the parents.
Oh yeah, but at least my school like put an effort into like an online graduation thing. It was like
those are sad.
It was like pre-recorded on YouTube. Yeah. I saw my name on the screen.
Oh man.
It flashed by for like a second. Yeah.
So this is something you and I probably will share. Well, maybe not. How do they pronounce your name? Do they pronounce it in Mandarin or
most of all?
Do they just call you Ryan?
I would tell them it's called Fu Rui because it's spelled F-U-J-U-I for some reason. I don't know why. It should be R-U-I, but I don't know why it's spelled J-U-I. But I would just tell them, "Oh, I'm Fu Rui, but you can just call me Ryan." Since But
when they announced your diploma, like, this student got this.
So for the graduation, you're asking about the graduation, right? No, they did not pronounce any of our names. It's just your name flashing by, and then there's like background music.
That sucks.
Yeah,
Right.
it kind of sucked, but yeah,
That's one of the job of my principals. Like our school is composed of 90% international
yeah,
students,
okay,
and most like half of them are Asian, and
yeah,
then some of them from Latin America,
yeah,
from all over the place. So it's a brutal things to hear it through. Like you have to pronounce
yeah.
people from 50 different countries'
Yeah.
name.
I remember in high school, I would have like a form and they would like tell you to try and spell it out in a really weird way how to pronounce your like actual name as close as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, to prevent like disrespecting or
That's yeah.
offending you. Yeah.
Do you prefer Ryan or you prefer your Mandarin name?
I actually prefer Ryan,
Okay.
but recently in Taiwan, I don't know why, there's a lot of Ryans.
Ryan's a
Hap-
common name.
I remember when I was a kid, I was like, my name is Ryan. And then the closest thing was Brian. And
Right.
not a lot of Ryans, but I don't
Okay.
know why recently there's a lot of Ryans. And I kind of don't like that.
Did you pick this name?
No, my parents picked it for me.
Do you like it?
I mean, I don't mind it.
You don't mind it?
I mean, because in my Chinese name, there's like a Ray.
Right.
So they just went with Ryan.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Ryan fits you.
Ryan fits me.
Yeah.
Nice. Then
You know
clearly it works.
like somehow we have
There's a
this
trait thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's person and there's
Yeah.
name, and
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't go together.
Yeah.
Yeah, not your case.
Oh, great. Parents did a good job then.
So your parents are still here.
Yeah. They're in Taiwan, both of them. Because before my parents, one of them would be in Canada, one of them would be in Taiwan, or
Okay.
both of them would be in Taiwan, and me and my brother would be in Canada, something like that.
Oh, you have a brother,
Yeah, older brother.
older brother, and
David,
he is
yeah.
in.
He's in Alberta right now. Yeah.
Okay.
He thought he wanted to work in Alberta.
Okay.
I mean, he wanted to work in Canada, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, I stayed since.
How
I sort of
close
went with the
between
flow.
Alberta and Vancouver? Not close at all.
Province-wise, they're just right next to each other.
Right.
But since Canada's a pretty big country,
Yeah.
it would take you around like 12 hours to drive.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So not close at all.
Plane, it's 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Okay.
It's not that bad.
Right.
But if you think about it a little bit more, it's
not
kind of bad.
It's not the first level city.
First level.
First level is like New York.
No.
LA.
No.
Not
like that. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I feel like Toronto would probably fit the vibe of New York better.
Right.
Maybe downtown Vancouver, but I'm not sure.
I don't know if during COVID you pay any attention to what happened in the United States.
Can you give me an example? I might know, or I might not.
Well, when I was in LA when COVID happened, and one of my American friend, he is already study in Denmark, and then actually no, we are both in LA, and then we saw this thing in China happening, and then Taiwan start to happening.
Yeah.
And then my friends has been telling me like America is fucked. America is like this is not going well for us because just the culture and the society.
Well, Canada is a little bit similar to America. There's like two sides. One are those really cautious people. They would listen. Yeah. The other side would be like, nah, it's a government scam. I'm still going to go for the walk. I'm still going to go for the jog. Yeah. I don't need a mask. The virus, it's fake. It's just a cold. It's just a little flu. Yeah. I'll be fine. And look what happened.
And my friend was right. Exactly. Like 1 month later, I remember we show up to work in the morning and then 30 minutes later,
called home.
Everybody say, go home.
Yeah, I remember that day. Yeah.
And the world is different since then.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you remember the following. George Floyd. There is a violence cop kill a African American.
Yeah. I remember
and then
that.
So the civil unrest start to happening.
Yeah.
So it does feel like, holy shit, this is
how
this
it's
is a
gonna
chaotic time.
end.
It was crazy. It's one thing that you don't see many cars on the street, and then it's another thing you start to see these big fancy stores start to barricade themselves.
Oh yeah.
And then the third thing, you start to see tank on the street. I was like,
there's actual tanks on there. Oh
yeah, the National Guard.
I did not know that.
They pull out the tank and you see them just sitting there. I was like, okay,
shit.
Fuck this. This is real. This is too real. And then things turn Gucci. Like, I think work from home is a great gift to the mass population of labor.
Yeah.
Can you do your work from home?
Current work, not. Technically, yes, if I have the equipment. But I need the equipment, and sometimes there's a lot of stuff that I need.
I see.
Yeah, so technically, yes, I can work from home, but yeah.
It's probably about like 6 months in, then the management start to need people in office on my side.
Yeah.
And then they start to be like, okay, you can just come, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah, I remember those days.
And then 4 years later, it does seems like we already put that thing behind.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think I hope not, but if there's ever something that similar that will happen, I think we'll be like much more prepared.
Right. Yeah. I hate to get political here, but I do remember during that time, we don't know where it's coming from. And then remember there's an Asian hates going on.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. My friends in Canada were complaining about that too.
Yes. And then recently, like this year or last year, they're like, have we ever thought about there's a Wuhan lab for coronavirus respiratory research institute that is right there? Like, have we thought about the legitimacy of that instead of this wet market thing or like animal coming out of it? It's like, oh, it's funny things that we look at things retrospect, and I get at the moment it's dangerous to pin it.
Yeah.
That way, I get why, but then like
now looking back, it's kind of
like silly. Okay, like can we have? It's not really out of the whack.
To just do stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever know.
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
it's a lot of things. I don't know. They just go by, just pass by, and rarely people would come back.
Yes, and I also think that if it was actually intentional, it was perfectly engineered.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, like you don't need $1 billion of military storming in. You don't need ICBM. Bio warfare.
Yeah,
it's a way to go because it hit into the exact the American psyche to have massive impact.
Yeah.
You know.
That's really interesting. I never really thought of
this is the tinfoil head that I've been putting on. Yeah. Why is it so hard for Western, like American? Does Canada follow the rule of putting on mask?
Not from what I saw, not really.
Not really?
Not really. I'm a little bit yeah, I'm probably one of them.
You're one of them.
During
You're one
that
of those
time,
people who don't wear masks.
Well, I do, but like, if there's a gathering, I'd still go. Well, it's my my mindset. In my defense, my mindset was it's last year of university. I don't want this to like to ruin my last
What should happen in the last year's university?
From my experience in high school, I had really bad grades. I'm not the brightest kid that my mom ever had. David was a lot smarter than me. Stuff like that. Yeah. So Basically, before I got admitted into a university,
Right.
I busted my ass off. Like in the morning, school starts. Let's say school starts at like 9. My mom would beg for a tutor to wake up at 6 to tutor me.
Okay.
Yeah, after the tutor, after school, which is like 3:30ish.
Yeah.
My mom would say, "You got to go to another tutor."
Oh my god.
After another tutor,
Right.
I would have to retake a course because I did really bad the first time I did the course. Yeah, rather it be an online or like I have to show up at school, something like that. Yeah, so basically, for my school, a normal kid would have like 4 to 5 courses.
Okay.
Oh, I was like taking like 6 or something, 6 or like 7 maybe.
So you have the same experience if you were to grow up in Taiwan.
Sort of. I mean, like, oh, my family is like they have like a cram school, like a 补习班.
Yes.
So when I was a kid, my parents started this business from scratch, and they have a lot of different classes.
Right.
And you need a minimum of 3 kids to start a class.
Okay.
Well, guess what? There's only 2 that signed up. Guess who's gonna fill in? Ryan. Have fun.
They run a business here in Taipei.
No, it's in Taoyuan.
Okay.
I come from a pretty countryside of Taoyuan,
Right.
South Taoyuan, Longtan. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, but I mean, respect my parents though. They made it. Like the cram school went well.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh. I do. Yeah. The cram school thing is a very interesting phenomenon.
I think it's I don't know. I feel like it's an Asian. It's embedded in Asian culture.
Do you know how crazy that industry is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
tell me.
Definitely.
Tell me about it.
All right. For first of all, I remember when I was a kid.
Right.
There's only like 3 or 4 cram schools in Longtan.
Okay.
That's near my house. I live in the cram school basically. Yeah. Now there's like 10 of them.
Okay.
Or like if not 20.
Yeah.
So the business is definitely like blooming. And then at the same time, Taiwanese do not have as much kids as they used to have. So, the competition gets steeper.
Yes.
But the experience wise, from what I'd experienced, elementary school, you go to school at like 7, 8, something like that. You finish school at like 3, and then you typical Taiwanese parents would put you in some sort of class or some sort of development stuff. Like they would put you in drawing class, let's say, or like a soccer team or like something, or athletics or instruments, Yeah, so I get to experience all of them. It was perfect.
How late were you taking class?
Okay, so I remember a typical day would be you go to school, start from like 8, finish at 3.
Yeah.
I come back home, which is the cram school.
Okay.
I have like this English class at like, I think it's like 4 or 5.
Yes.
It's a 2-hour class.
Yes.
Or a 90-minute class. I can't remember. Goes on till about 6-ish.
Yes.
I have a quick dinner. I go to do a swim class.
Okay.
Like 7 or something. I can't remember. Yeah, I do swimming until like 9. I have to come back home and I have to do my homework because I couldn't finish it in time. Yeah, because I didn't have time.
Right.
Yeah, and then I finish my homework at like, I don't know, like 10 something. I go to bed and then it's a repeat. But I did attend a lot of different like classes. I had like, I'm such a letdown to my parents because I have a reason. My mom, she tried, what is it? Instruments.
Okay.
She tried piano.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Violin. Didn't work. A lot of stuff like drums, whatever. I'm just bad with like musical stuff, I guess.
Yes.
And then my mom did try drawing, art classes.
Okay.
I did okay with art classes, but you know, I'm a person that likes to move around a lot. I can't sit down for too long. It's like, I'm not kidding. At one point, my mom thought I had ADHD when I was a kid because I could not sit still. Yeah, she would. I remember when I was like 3, when my mom wants to take a picture of me, she would have to like physically draw a circle and tell me, Ryan, stand there. We're going to play a game. Stand there for 10 seconds, okay? And then she takes the photo. Something like that, yeah.
That's so funny.
But besides that, athletic stuff, like sports stuff, I did okay with.
But at least they get you into the classes that is sounds like non-academic.
Oh, in cram school, I did attend academic ones. Math class, extra math, English class.
Yeah.
What is it? Writing, literature.
And this is in Taiwan.
Yes.
Right.
And then the best part, I hate the concept of, you know, 评量.
Yeah.
I hate that. I fucking hate it. I see 评量 right now. I still want to, like, I don't know, burn it. Yeah.
Exactly. How late? What is the latest class your parents' cram school have for people to sign up?
I think it goes until like, so there's like an 안칭반.
Okay.
I think 안칭반 goes until like 6 or 7. Like a typical time when Taiwanese parents get off work.
Right.
But sometimes they work overtime, which means my parents need to work overtime and just sit at the lobby and wait till their parents come to pick them up.
Do you know there's cram school
till like 10, right?
No, it starts at 9 p.m. and runs until 12.
Wow.
For high school kids.
For high school kids, right? Yeah, because good thing I only experienced until elementary.
Oh yeah, I think elementary you couldn't do that.
Yeah, elementary is like till 6 is late enough.
But even for high school, I think that's brutal.
Till 12, that sucks.
It's a prime time where you should get sleep. It's a prime time you
should get out and like run around.
Yeah,
I remember in Canada high school, I get off at 3. I play basketball till like 6. And I go home and have dinner and then do my homework. That was a good times, man.
That's a dream life.
Yeah.
If we do a very rudimentary comparison between, let's just call it American education, and then Taiwanese education, it seems like overwhelmingly we're like, yeah, American education is better.
I feel like it kind of depends on the kids,
right?
Because
it worked out for you.
It worked out for me, yeah. But first place, like my parents are strict as shit. You know, like also I'm like a goody two shoe. If my mom says this, I would do it.
Right.
Yeah. I think there's like somewhat of a Asian culture embedded within my Canadian experience.
Yes.
Which is like a combination of like...
Right.
Yeah.
Because, well, how much of like your parents... Well, you didn't really count as an immigrant. Would you consider yourself an immigrant?
That's an interesting question. I would. Because I feel like I've spent enough time during my earlier years in Canada, which influenced me enough to think as a Canadian or carry myself as a Canadian more than a Taiwanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if your parents doesn't have that first generation immigrant.
Oh, they sort of I guess it's like not first generation.
Yeah. You will be the first generation.
Yes,
immigrant.
Technically I would be, but I feel like my parents, they sort of understand Canadian culture.
Okay.
It's just not as much as me or my brother.
I think it's a huge blessing that kids can go out at 3 p.m.
Yes.
Have fun.
Yes.
I love it. Be with the nature.
I love it. Yeah. Be with your friends, hang out, you know, worry about homework later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For us, I did high school in Taiwan.
Oh, I actually, because I was really curious about Taiwanese education,
Yeah.
high school. I once snuck into a high school.
Wait, what? Like during the class?
Yeah.
And you snuck in?
Yeah.
Not knowing anybody?
So my cousin was in that high school.
Okay.
And then I told him, hey, how do you guys, do stuff?
Right.
And then he's like, do you want to know? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, I'll think about it.
Okay.
My cousin actually went up to his teacher and told her about my curiosity and everything. Well, his teacher actually agreed me to go to their school and stuff. So this is what happened. I took my cousin's uniform. It was really funny because on high schoolers, they have their name, everything on their clothes. So you see two Cai Qixuan walking into the class, and then the security looked at me. He's like, "I've never seen you before." I'm like, and then my cousin was like, "Oh, 体育班转来的 stuff like that."
All right, cool.
Yeah, and then the security was like, "Okay, go ahead." I'm like, "Okay, we're in then."
Nice.
Yeah, I just went to their class.
You spent the whole day there?
I spent 2 days there.
Oh wow. And do you like it?
No, I don't. I did not like it. It's it was really bad. It was just class after class after class, and then I remember a lot of them because I went at a time where it's a little bit easier for them because it was the end of the semester and it was the last year of high school. Some of them already have a university admitted, so they were not having too much stress at all because some kids were already they already have a guaranteed spot.
Yeah.
And some kids they did not, and they have to go to this 考试 thing, right? Yeah. So the time that I went, it wasn't even the worst time. So, and I already feel like I'm locked up in here.
There's a looming pressure that is just
the atmosphere there is just it's just dense and sort of dead. Yeah, and then I spent 2 days there, right? On day 2 I already learned how to skip classes and go out and play basketball with the kids. Yeah.
There is a weird inverse curve. Like in Taiwan, people studied very hard to go to university to have fun.
Okay.
And then in United States, they have fun in high school, and then when they get to college, they start to study really hard.
Oh yeah.
And for me, I think that's a good thing. For you study hard when
for university,
your body is fully developed, your brain is not bothered by hormone, you're chemically balanced too.
I would argue more developed.
Not fully developed. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I somewhat agree. I think I had a lot of different conversations with Taiwanese people for their university experience. It's basically the opposite of my experience. Well, first year my mindset wasn't too good for university. I did not as I said earlier, I'm already not really smart. I didn't spend time studying and stuff, so the grades showed immediately. My parents went back to Taiwan during that time because they're like, "Oh, you're in university now. You're gonna live on campus, so we're just gonna go back to Taiwan and focus on the cram school and try and provide you."
Right.
Yeah. So you're on your own now, basically.
Do you feel the stress, your parents from financially get into college?
I feel like this is where I really respect my parents.
Right.
Because not only, I'm not the only kid, there's another brother. Yeah, and both of us, Both of we were in the same university.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the tuition is already one part.
Okay.
And both of us are pretty big boys. Like we eat a lot, man. Like
right.
Yeah, and my parents have to like support that. Wow, they must have like sacrificed a lot.
Right.
Like when I'm like older, I sort of think back and start to understand how things work as an adult.
Yeah.
I feel like my parents sacrificed too much for me and my brother.
It's always
So I'm really grateful for the resources they provide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Same. Like I start to realize, wow, how did the previous generations of parents, they need to
the shit that they went through. Damn.
It's like I couldn't do it if I were young.
I always feel like I'm spoiled when I think about stuff like that.
Yes.
But in a certain way, I feel like I'm a little bit spoiled by my parents.
Right.
Yeah.
Walk back a little bit on the topic of education to Steelman Taiwan's policy. Although we are bitching at it a lot.
Yeah.
My thing of it is they designed the system this way. And don't be surprised if you design the system this way, you got the product in that. What I'm trying to say is this is a country need tons of engineer from the get-go. Not just software, like way back into like 40s. The heavy industry, the light industry, now the information. This is a country that
relies on those
technology
and stuff.
And guess what needs the backbone of engineer? We need a good healthcare system.
Yeah.
That's why we have a very robust system of producing doctors. And these two kind of bring the country to prosperity. So
definitely,
to produce engineer, you need a machine. You need the education system to be like a machine. And sort of just mold it like
sort of look at our system right now.
The same of everything. And for most, I think it worked. Like
definitely it works.
You can surrender to the system a little bit. Like you don't. Of course, everybody gone in for the good school. But even if you don't, the pool is big enough for you to
do what you want.
To ride the wave of this progressive industrialization of these things. And that's great.
That's great.
Not good for a person like me, like the creatives, the outsiders, the liars. It's not good.
Definitely more challenging.
People have to suffer more to breathe. When did you get big?
When did I get big?
Yeah.
Technically, I'm not big yet.
This is such a gym bro kind of answer.
In my mind, I'm not big at all. But like,
that's so funny.
I would say when
bro,
have I
you're 6'2". You're big.
I think I would put it this way. When did I realize that? People notice that my physique has changed. I feel like there was a time in university that my roommate said, "Hey, you look like your body sort of changed a little bit."
Okay.
So that was like my third year working out.
Okay.
But during my early years of working out, I did not really know what I was doing. I just go to the gym. I had like this bro split thing, and then I did not know anything about training and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like my physique really took off these recent like 3 years.
All right.
Yeah, like I started to learn how to train and like understand the science behind of it.
Okay.
Yeah, like my shoulders grew wider. Stuff like that. My back looks better. Stuff like that. So I would say first time people noticed that I work out was like my third year working out. And then first time that I realized that maybe my physique isn't too bad was like 3 years ago.
I see.
Which is like already year 7 or year 8 into working out. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a lot of time putting into.
At least I enjoy it. Like I like lifting.
Right.
Yeah, it makes me feel good.
What do you love about it?
Oh, that's a long story.
We have time.
We have time, yeah. All right, so remember how I said that I was not the brightest kid?
Okay.
Yeah, during high school.
Yeah.
I was playing basketball a lot. Yeah. I did not like studying at all. But one part of me, my parents basically told me that university is mandatory, so I have to go. So I have to study. Yeah. And I studied and I did bad. Let's say I bombed the test. I got like, I don't know. People feel like, well, this is like a little bit racist thing, but people, when I say I failed a test in Canada, people would say like, oh no, you're Asian. What did you get? Like 90%? When I say I bombed the test, I actually bombed the test. Like, no, I failed. I got like 48%. What are you talking about? I bombed the test. And then he's like, oh shit, you actually bombed the test then? Then I was like, yeah. So whenever, in the beginning, when I do bad during a test, I felt bad, and that sort of negative energy did not have anywhere to go. Right. Because I did not know how to work out during that time. And during the beginning, I actually hate working out. Okay. My brother forced me. He dragged my ass into the gym. All right. In the beginning, yeah. And then I remember there was this one time, me and my brother came back to Taiwan actually, and then he dragged my ass to the gym again. And then it was the first time, I remember vividly, we were training arms, biceps. First time I felt a pump in my bicep. I was like, oh shit, okay. Looked into the mirror, I flexed, I see this tiny little like muscle tone or something. I was like, oh fuck, I'm the deal then. Right. Yeah, and during that time, I feel like, oh, after I worked out, I feel great. So in high school, when I bombed the test, I feel like shit. I go to the gym. I did not care what I did, but I just lift what was considerably heavy for me. Right. Whether it be like chest press or like shoulder press or whatever. I just lift weights to get the negative emotions off of me. Right. That's how it started. Okay. And then well, you know, like fitness stuff, it requires a lot of gift. So like genetically, some people are better at it. Yeah. And I start to notice that I'm a little bit better than most of the kids in my school that lifts. Yeah. So like, let's say the average kid in my school, they shoulder press 30s. Of course, there's like elite people. They were pressing like 70s, 80s already. Mm-hmm. But I could press like 60s or like 55s, which is above average. I was like, and I was the only Asian kid to do it. Right. So I was like, okay, I'm perhaps a little bit better than other, like I'm a little bit, yeah. And since I was playing basketball and you know that awkward height, like 6'2", 6'3", you get put into the basketball team. Right. And then you go to play a game, you see this white dude, he was like 6'8", 250 pounds or something. And then your coach looks at you, they're like, yeah, better check him up. Right. Yeah, so like me, I was only like 180 pounds or something. Right. And then,
how heavy are you now?
Oh, it's really funny. Right now, I'm like at like 190. But body fat wise, a lot lower. Muscle, yeah. But like, yeah. It was like a clean 180 pound, untrained kid. Yeah. Got it. So yeah, and then basketball team, lots of physical contacts. Yes. I did not want to like get bullied around the paint. So you know, the gym was the best place.
Is basketball and gym conflicting one another?
Yeah, I had a phase where I liked basketball more than almost anything. Right. Yeah, I really liked.
High school or college?
High school.
Okay.
I really like. At first, I sucked at basketball.
Right.
I didn't even know how to do a layup. And then I don't know. It was just till one day it just made sense.
Right.
And then I don't know how I just got better at it. And then
do you have a team?
Yeah, I used to play a school team.
No, like, do you have a team that you like?
Oh, a team? You mean NBA team?
Yeah.
Not really. Not really. I'm really weird because like when people watch NBA games, I would be like, why don't you just go out and play the sports? You know how like people watch games?
Yes.
Like video games online, streamers. I'm like, why don't you just play the game yourselves? It's sort of like that.
Right.
So I don't really watch the NBA. I just watch it if my brother's watching it, my dad's watching it. Favorite team, not really. But favorite player, I used to really like Kyrie Irving because he has like fancy hands, all that. Even though he causes a lot of trouble, but
his shoes reflect that.
Yeah. Lots of personality for him.
Yeah.
Which I really liked him. Yeah.
Is your brother the same size as you?
Yep. Both of us are like same height. Weight wise, I think he's a little bit heavier than me right now.
Right.
But we're basically built the same.
Nice.
Yeah.
Your parents must be proud.
I guess so. Every time there's like a gathering, you know how those like Asian gatherings,
like Chinese New Year.
Yeah, or like my dad has these like old gatherings with his high school reunion friends, like or university reunion thing.
Right.
And then my dad would be like, "Hey, you and David take the car and pick me up at like 9 after we're done. And then when you come, you better wear like tank tops and come. You better let these uncles know, man." And then my dad's like, "Okay." And then when we roll up, my dad looks at us. He's like, "Oh, these are my sons. How nice of them to pick me up, huh?" Fucking nudges his friends.
So your
like that.
dad know. So your dad know that this is a. How do I put it?
He's like a proud.
Yeah.
I think it's my dad is like he's always been a special person in my life.
Okay.
He's sort of like the tough love type.
Okay.
Like he would say harsh stuff to you, but you know that he loves you more than anything.
Right.
Yeah, but it's just his mouth. He can't say anything nice. Yeah. So by that movement, the things that he tells you to do during these reunions, you kind of would know that he's proud of you. Right. But behind the doors, when the doors are shut, when he's talking to you one-on-one, you're like that trash can over there. I can replace you anytime. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, but tough love, right?
Yes.
We know that he cares, he loves you. It's just he wishes you to be better or whatever, right?
Again, I think it's a product of its time.
Yeah. Well, I totally understand that his motives behind wanting my own child to like strive and excel.
For sure.
Yeah.
Whose idea is it to get you two brothers to Canada?
To Canada? I think it was my dad's.
Oh, okay.
I've heard stories of it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
But I think it's because during that time, Hong Kong released with Canada, right? Yeah. And then since Hong Kong was looking for a lot of immigrants back to Canada, and then it sort of spread into Taiwan.
Yes.
And since my dad was really smart, he's an engineer as well. He applied when he was like 30 or something with my mom. Mm-hmm. And their mindset was like, "Oh, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then so be it. It's fine. We can still do well."
Right. And
it happened. And then my dad was like, "Okay, then let's do this." So they go to Canada, and what's the next stop? They have no clue.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there what do you guys think about? Sorry, I don't know how to frame this question.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people go to Canada and stay there, and then there's a whole chunk of people go to Canada so they can go to America.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which group you guys are in? Like, do you think this Vancouver, Canada is great, or you guys there's still a sense of looking towards south?
I think my parents like Canada.
Right.
Yeah,
that's good.
I don't think they want to move to. I mean, they don't.
But when the question towards more like when you guys are with your kids, with your friends, like what's the general sense? Is people like, oh, after I'm gonna get a job in America, or like?
Oh, you mean for me?
Yeah.
Oh, in the future, I still wish that I have the ability to provide my kid to North America,
Right.
Whether it be US or Canada. I think either is fine.
Those are fine.
Yeah,
I see.
I don't mind, but I feel like if I have the ability to do so, I would definitely try.
Right. Yeah. It's a generational plan. These kind of
it's
a generational game.
Yeah,
like it's a.
I'm impressed by my dad because like, how did he know that it would like work out like this, right?
Yeah. You know what? I bet he doesn't. Like who can
predict the future?
Yeah, who will know there will be a global pandemic that brings his son back to Taiwan?
Yeah,
like nobody knows.
Yeah, which is I don't know, like nothing but respect to my parents. Yeah.
Away from family,
mm-hmm.
How did you get into? So you're an engineer. You like to work out.
I'm not really an engineer, but
you're not really an engineer.
I wouldn't say I was.
What's the proper name for it?
I play around with devices. Yeah.
Product manager?
No. It's a test engineer. They call it engineer, but personally, I don't want to offend any testers out there. Personally, I don't feel like I'm an engineer. I'm too dumb to be an engineer. Okay.
All right.
But yeah.
How did this photography model things came to your life?
Oh, wow. Great story.
Okay.
Great story. I have lots to share.
Nice.
Wow. So when I was 19.
Okay.
All right.
Which is yesterday, but go ahead.
I wish. But like 19, I came back to Canada. I came back to Taiwan.
Okay.
I think it was during summer or something. I can't remember, but came back to Taiwan. I was with my brother and my dad, and then it was like a summer vacation thing. So I needed new pants, new shorts. So me and my brother was like, "Oh, where are we gonna go get shorts? Let's go to Zara." Okay, let's go to Zara then. So my grandpa lives at like Zhongxiao Fuxi.
Okay.
Right, and then we walked to Zhongxiao Dunhua since it wasn't really far. And then Zhongxiao Dunhua, there's like this big Zara place, right? And then we go there, and then there's this YouTuber that basically interviewed me. It was like this pairing. Like this YouTuber, what he does is like he would ask if you were single or not. And then he would just ask another girl is single or not, and then he would try and get you two to date, stuff like that.
Wow, all right.
Yeah, so I went on that show. So the first time I felt the power of social media was that time.
Okay.
I went on that random show, and then during that time, I feel old. We were using Facebook. All right. Yeah. Facebook got a shit ton of views, stuff like that. And then that YouTuber back then was really popular.
Okay.
Got a bunch of views, got a lot of like shows asking me if I could like participate or not.
Okay.
But I was a mama's boy, so I ignored all of that shit. I'm kind of stupid, I told you. And then I could have like started all these like way earlier.
Right.
But yeah, I sort of just went through. I only went to some of the jobs, which is just a really simple photography, like photo shooting for their product or whatever. I never went on to any shows or yeah. But that was the first time I felt that social media sort of and then it sort of started to die down.
Okay.
But like up until now, sometimes, very, very rarely, people would come up and they would just say, "Have you been onto that show?" I'm like, "Oh shit, that was 7 years
really?
ago. Are you
Oh,
sure?"
wow.
And then I'm
That's
like, "Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, that was me."
But you do like this thing, being in front of camera and...
I think I'm more of a shy person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like because recently I've been quite active with filming and stuff.
Okay.
So I am definitely more confident with the camera.
Right.
I still am the shy guy, but at least I can sort of ignore the camera if that makes sense. Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. Do you chase the... Because for people behind the camera, they are crafting a thing, and you're in front of the camera. When it comes out, what's the first reaction when you see yourself that's been, directed, that's been processed, that's been light up?
This answer might like disappoint you, but I look at myself, I'd be like,
I know what's coming.
yeah, you know what's coming, right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, this guy needs to like bulk up a little bit. This guy looks skinny as hell. Small ass person, man. That's probably the only thing I care.
Right.
I'd be like,
That's so funny.
this guy needs a bigger chest. This guy needs a bigger shoulder or something like that. Right. Yeah.
Great.
Besides that, I'll be like, my reaction would be that person's me. Like,
Yes.
Because for my background, I never had a lot of confidence in myself doing stuff because, not the brightest kid, stuff like that. And then now, in my mind, like, only cool people can be on, like, the screen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when I look at myself, I feel like, oh, is that actually, like, me?
Right.
Do I actually look like that?
Does it help?
Does it help?
Yeah.
Somewhat, but
help
not
in
a
a
lot.
way that, okay, this picture, this guy in the image looks cool. I'm that guy.
It definitely looks cool, but I don't feel like that person's me.
Right.
Like, I don't believe myself that, I get to be on the screen. But
I see.
Yeah, but the product definitely looks great and cool. But personally, like, I don't know. I just feel like,
how many process you've been through that do you have enough experience to tell that, oh, this is a process I like, or this is kind of the director I like to work with, this is kind of the photographer I want to work with?
I don't think I have enough to share. But for me, as long as I feel comfortable,
right,
I'm like the most goofiest person if I feel comfortable. But if I only meet you for the first time, I would be really tense. I would be really, really tense.
Yeah.
And I would keep my distance a lot.
Yeah.
And I think, the first time we've met at the
mall.
Yeah, at the mall. Yeah, I was like a statue standing there. I'm like, oh, okay.
The most strangest audition.
Yeah, but that's how I usually function if I have met you for the first time.
All right.
So basically, I think if I'm comfortable enough with the person, we have to like flow well. Basically, yeah.
Well, that's a director's job.
Yeah.
That's the people behind the camera's job.
Yeah.
And it takes things we are doing is not engineering, it's really human to human. So like you said, it's a flow thing. It's the
flow. Yeah,
it's a flow thing.
Yeah.
Well, I would say the first, like our shoot, the production day, it's a very courteous environment, I think.
It was like windy and stuff.
What do you remember that day?
What I remember that day?
Yeah.
Like I was saying, why am I the only Asian guy there? But it was fun. It was fun. I mean,
well, I can tell you another story. So, there is another 2-3 guys that I
audition.
All right, I'm gonna tell. So you are not the only one who could have made it to the audition. Like we have one audition day that we have the studio, and then you can come in and we'll try to close on.
Yeah.
And I have done these kind of how do we call it? Random meetup.
Okay.
At various part of Taipei. And you took it like a trooper. Like I asked you, put on these clothes, let's give it a try, and then you took it like a trooper.
Despite at a random mall, right?
Yeah, despite at a random mall and with no lighting. And that's not the case every time.
Okay.
There are cases they would just be they're even more taken back. They would be like, okay, I would put on a jacket.
That's it.
Okay, I will put on I will only do the outerwear.
That's weird.
And then they won't put on the pants, or they wouldn't go in to change the full look.
Okay, I see.
And that's make my job much easier because if I couldn't
know,
if I couldn't decide, if you couldn't play ball, and I have no way to judge
how the product would look like,
then,
right? Yeah,
then it's a very simple answer.
Yeah.
And so that sort of give you a tale, like what kind of working environment we want it to be in. So
Mama's good boy, man. Whenever people tell me to do something, I do it.
It is very important for you to be in this show. That much I would say. Yeah. We wanted to have as balanced as it possible. And it would be great if we have another Asian. And not as buff as you would be great.
I like to hear that. That's good. But
it's also important that we have a buff Asian.
Yes.
Yeah. It's I think it turned out, we're still in post-production. But for the resources we can get, I think it's on par with the level that we wanted to get.
Nice.
Yeah. It's
nice.
Yeah, we reschedule it. Yeah. And that sort of throw the whole team off the rail a little bit.
Yeah.
And now looking back, that we made so much mistake that we're trying to salvage, but
it's fine. We all learn from mistakes, right? Yeah.
Next time it will be better. I think. Yeah. Yeah. That's
next time I would be more cut and stuff. Yeah.
You are already there. It's
a personal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we want, the original date is the day after
my show.
The day after your competition.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit banking on you being like super shredded because the day after your show.
I was honestly, I think I was like spot on shredded for a shoot, not for a competition, but like for a photo shoot.
Yeah.
I feel like that type of conditioning, you would love it. Like, there's a lot of detail on my body, and I look less buff because I was dehydrated.
Well, the day of the shoot, it was okay. No, sorry, I shouldn't use okay. It was great. It was great.
No worries, like, I know what you mean.
Come on, where is the hesitation? Yeah, and one mistake we made is remember you changed the clothes.
Yeah,
you changed from the jogger to the short.
Yeah,
and then I asked the team to take another one.
Yeah,
The look was the short and then with the hoodie put on. And sorry, with the hoodie only on your shoulder. And somehow the assistant took it that you have to wear a hoodie. Remember?
Yeah.
And that take couldn't make it into the cut.
Oh, I see. I see.
And it's a communication thing. Like what I originally meant was, you can put on the clothes and walk to where we have the final shoot on the very top.
Yeah.
And then you can take out the clothes to be that, because the look is, we only wanted to show the short.
Yeah.
And the hoodie is just an add-on.
Okay.
So that was the look in my head.
Look. Yeah. Okay.
And it's the same assistant that put on the filter.
Well, she had a rough time.
Yeah.
For the past couple of weeks, she had a rough time then.
None of this. I think I'm gonna cut the